Hello everyone, welcome to the episode 5 of Spirit X podcast. I'm happy to be here with you and I thank you for your attention. And speaking of attention, the episode 5 is going to be about attention from the psychospiritual standpoint. In general, in this podcast, we are exploring life and spirituality from a spiritual standpoint. We are slightly using my book, Spirit X, Spirituality for Global and Digital Age. We follow certain chapters there and kind of guideline and the structure. But today I want to have a little bit of a pause from that structure. I want to offer you something that I discovered by actually teaching and offering mindfulness in middle schools and high schools within my nonprofit Spirit Without Boundaries, and relates to the notion of attention and why it's so important in digital age. So I have my own definition of mindfulness, and it goes like this. Mindfulness is paying deliberate attention to what's happening on the outside and what's happening on the inside, and the result of that process and that gesture is more presence, more peace, more joy, more love, more kindness in the world, in our world, in the world around us. So it's a complex definition. It usually takes me 5 to 10 workshops to actually unpack that whole notion. But you probably notice that that notion of attention is the first big buzzword in that definition. And attention is important in digital world, in global world, in contemporary world. And it's extremely important in our life. And in my workshops, I help people actually realizing attention experientially. My own definition of attention is the quality of your mind that is capable of focusing on the objects on the outside and objects on the inside. So our mind is a very complex structure and fascinating structure, and one of the faculties, one of the qualities of our mind that it can pay attention to various objects and structures, etc., externally, but also internally. And once we train our attention mindfully and with discernment, we are actually winning the game of life. Otherwise, we are at mercy of our untrained attention. In Zen Buddhism, which is a very rich spiritual tradition, there is that notion of monkey mind. So monkey mind, just like monkey jumping from branch to branch in a kind of a little bit chaotic way, our mind can be monkey mind. So I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, this person said that. Or, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I'm not good enough and stuff like that. So there's this internal chatter in our mind that can be actually very, for the lack of a better word, self-destructive. The vast majority of people are not aware of that, so that's why training attention is the key. So what I would like to share with you today is some exercises that I developed in middle schools and high schools, but actually they can be applied to any age and any group globally. And the exercise will help you first identifying your attention and then understanding and feeling the benefits of actually trained attention. So we're going to do a few exercises, and further on you'll be able to kind of continue on your own. So I'm going to ask you very gently to pay attention to this finger of mine. So I'm going to do it with you. So I'm paying attention to my finger. And I'm noticing that when I single-mindedly focus on the objects on the outside, so that's attention, the quality of my mind that is able to focus on my finger is actually my attention. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention to this finger of mine, and I'm going to use it too. But by focusing on this finger, I'm noticing another interesting thing. When my mind, using my attention, single-mindedly focus on the object on the outside, I'm actually also relaxed. So single-minded concentration and focus is also relaxing because our mind is not a monkey mind. So focus can be relaxing, and that's a huge lesson. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention to my nose too. I do this with middle schoolers and they like it. So at this point your attention is focused on my nose, single-minded attention, which overlaps relaxation. I'm going to ask you in the room where you are, where your computer is, to choose one object. I'm going to focus on the cup here. So I'm focusing on a cup, single-minded attention, objects on the outside. I feel focused but also relaxed. And finally, I'm going to ask you to gently close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. And focus on the process of your breath. That's the object on the inside, and our attention is turned within, and we gently open our eyes. And one more object on the within. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes gently and to focus on the alive presence in your being within. So alive, something is aware, something is awake, something is alive with capital A. There is being with capital B dwelling inside of us. Just bring your attention there and notice how that feels. And we gently open our eyes. So thanks for practicing with me. So what happened here was that we played with our attention on the inside, on the outside, but we also trained our attention. So in digital world and global world, in contemporary world, when we train our attention, we can expect some good results in our life. When we are at mercy of our untrained attention, attention can take you to very, very, very uncomfortable places within and without, and that's not what we want. So training attention in contemporary world is the key. It's not difficult. It requires some repetition. It requires a good instructor like myself, and it requires your goodwill to actually train your attention and to discover peace. Once attention rests into its source, which is this conscious alive presence, then we truly relax and we are truly awake. It takes a little time that we rediscover that place that is inherently available to us all the time, but that's why this attention training is so important. We will play with attention throughout our podcast, we will play attention throughout our book, but this was the beginning. So just be aware where your attention is and you'll be winning in the game of life. Thank you for your attention, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.